All right, we've got, I'll show you guys an update on this build. This is a fourplex with basement suites, and this has been, I'd say, we're like 3.5 months away from being finished. My broker asked me, she called me, said, how far away are we from being finished? And I told her 3.5 months. So the reason why your broker, your lender, your bank, your inspector, your quantity surveyor, these guys will ask you how far away you are from finishing. The reason why is because they want to know how far. Well, in this case, we're going to do a takeout financing. Okay, so what does that mean? Takeout financing means we're going to, the reason why it's called takeout is because we are literally taking out the construction loan and replacing it with a term loan, a permanent term loan. So a term loan is the exact type of loan you got that you're paying on your house. So it takes out the construction. Right now it's in construction phase. I had one student call me and ask me, how does the monthly payments work when you're doing the construction? So actually you're not paying anything during, look at these beautiful brand new precast steps. You're not paying for anything during construction if you negotiated it with an interest reserve. Okay, an interest reserve allows you to roll in what you would have paid, 8,000 a month, 10,000 a month on a $2 million deal like this. You roll it into the actual loan itself. Okay, so check out these kitchen window slits so that when you're cooking, you're washing your dishes, you could see a little bit out the door. Okay, so every unit has that. It's pretty cool. You can see it over there. This is one unit, by the way. So this is a back entrance, obviously, because this is the front over here. So what happens is when you walk in, okay, this is your living room with a big window. You got your kitchen. When you walk in, you've got these stairs going down. Okay, now this is a basement suite, so this will actually be closed off. Okay, so just imagine this closed off. Now when I'm walking through here, I can only go upstairs. Because this is closed off, because the basement guys will walk in through there. Okay, they're gonna walk in, this is closed, they go straight down into the basement, into their 2-bed suite. Okay, this is a half bath over here. All right, and then I'm gonna take you guys upstairs too. But what I was saying about the takeout loan, let me set you guys up. All right, so what a takeout loan is, oh, I already explained it. But again, that is different from the construction loan itself. So during the construction, you're not paying any monthly carry cost for the project. Now, that's pretty cool because that allows you to not, need to worry about coughing up some money during the construction. Now, you have to be able to negotiate this in the deal. A lot of lenders don't. Not, I wouldn't say a lot, but some of them will not give you an interest reserve. They want you to pay out of your pocket monthly. If you're able to negotiate an interest reserve, okay, that helps you to not shell out any money during construction. Now, the reason why they do that is because they know a development, once it's done, it's worth more than your total cost. In this case, total cost is around 1.8 million, and it's worth $2.5 million, okay, in my market. So now they know, because of that big spread, that big equity gain, they can add in some stuff in the loan, okay, to, in this case, it's called an interest reserve. Now, a couple other things that's really cool. Number one, you can also add what's called contingency. Now, contingency is actually mandatory, so they will add a contingency to the total budget of your project. So let's say all of this, the land, the lumber that you see, the windows, the doors, everything that you see cost 1.7 million. Now, they can add what's called a contingency to the budget, which is normally around 5%. So that amount you can draw out if you show invoices of things going, more than what you thought it would be. Let's say your project cost more than 1.7, and you could show these invoices, and they'll give you this contingency. Okay. Number 3, you can add developer fees. So what is a developer fee? Developer fees essentially is for you, the developer. Now, it depends on the size of the project. Here, I'll take you guys upstairs so we can. The developer fee depends on the size of the project. Now, on this kind of project, okay, a $2 million project, you can get $100,000 to $150,000 developer fee. Now, this developer fee helps you to manage your costs. So like pay for your gas, pay for your little bagel, okay, your little coffee, whatever you want. Because the bank knows you need to get paid during the construction. Now, this isn't mandatory. You could opt out of a developer fee. You don't need to take one, but you can add a developer fee. So it's pretty cool. You get paid during the build, so you're not waiting for the build to finish to get some money. You're already making money throughout the build. So a lot of people don't know that. People think when you develop, you're not making any money. You gotta wait till it's done, and you're paying monthly payments to support the loan. Both are false, okay? So that's pretty cool. Now, when you do the takeout financing at the end, you're able to refinance at the new value. Now, with a caveat, it has to support the DSCR. It has to support the debt service coverage ratio for what the bank wants. So normally it's like 1.2 or 1.3 DSCR. So you can't take it out at the max value if it doesn't meet that threshold. Now, if I'm just talking gibberish, then let me know, and I could make another video for that. But so as you can see here, when you come up the stairs, this is for the main entrance, guys. This is a 3-bedroom, okay? Now you can probably guess what that is, right? If you don't know, this is a washer and dryer closet, okay? Washer and dryer. Then we've got a full bath here on the main hallway. Now remember, downstairs there's a half bath. Half bath means just a powder room, toilet, and I'll show you guys once this is done. I'll come back and do another video. This is one of 7 projects we got going on. Okay, so we got a lot of moving parts, a lot of projects going. So again, this is a full bath. Another thing to note, these are 9-foot ceilings. So actually a study was done that you live a happier life if you live in a place where the ceilings are higher. So little tip, make sure if you can, try to live in a place where the ceilings are high, okay? So this is a hallway leading up to, here is a bedroom. Now you can tell it's a bedroom because there's a window. If there's no window, then that's considered an office or a den, okay? But there is a window here, and then you've got your closet space. Right now, taking you guys back again, here is another bedroom, okay? Take you guys inside. As you can see, got a window, right? Now, take you guys in the master bathroom. Now, master deserves a huge window. Got a huge window here. And we got a walk-in closet going to the bathroom. Okay, walk-in closet. So you walk in, you got your clothes here, you got your hangers, you got your jewelry, your watches, whatever. And then you got your full bath here. Okay? And then right across is the full bath for the hallway. All right? So this is just copy paste. We can go through all the other units, but everything looks the same. Okay? That's pretty cool. Now, where's the mechanical room? The mechanical room is in the basement downstairs. I could take you guys there too if you want, but Developing real estate, how it works is you buy a piece of land. Okay, so I'll show you the land that we're on here. This is a 50 feet by 140, I believe. Okay, so you buy a piece of land. Now usually there might be an old house on it. So there used to be an old house on this project. This is called an infill project. Infill means you're inside the city and you're tearing down an old house and you're building a brand new one. I like that strategy because you are in the main quarters of the city. So risk is really low and the banks love it. Now, if you're building outside the city, that's called green fill. Okay, green fill. You are building in a new community, or you're basically buying lots from a developer and you're building yourself. That is fine too, but it's a little riskier. I don't love it too much, and the spread isn't that much because the developer already made their money from the new development plan, the area structure plan, the entire plan was already done, so they squeezed out the profits, and so therefore there's not much more for you. Plus, again, it's outside the city. You might not get as high rents as you would in the city. Okay, so I do like infill for that reason. Once you buy the piece of land, or if there's a house on it, now obviously you tear it down, you do the whole thing. But hold on. Let's talk about the actual, all the steps, okay? So stick to the very end. If you do, you'll learn exactly how to develop real estate from scratch, even if you have no experience or any capital too. You don't need capital because if you know how this game works, you know how to explain it to someone, you will get a partner to jump in with you and you guys can go 50-50 on the profits, okay? Another thing about profits is you can either sell this whole thing for a profit, or you can refinance into the permanent loan I was talking to you guys about. So you could pull out your initial investment while keeping the building, okay? You're keeping the asset and you are pulling out the initial investment. Tax-free, by the way, because it's a loan. And then you do it again and again and again. Okay, so that's mainly what I do. So the steps are, like I mentioned, buy a piece of land. Now, you need to do the drawings, okay, architecture drawings. So this essentially, it's the drawings for what would be this, okay? On top of that, you need to get a lot grading plan. You need to get a survey. You need to get environmental. Now, all these things are for the lender, but also it is kind of required. So I can explain each of these. I'm not an expert in them, and that's why I hire the experts to do it for you. I just know the steps, but I don't know how they go into the ground and take samples, etc., etc. So all of that makes up for the total package that you send to your county or your city to submit for permits. Okay, so permits are, it's a permission to build. So in my city, I need 2 permits. I need a development permit and then a building permit. The development permit just stamps and says you are approved to obviously develop what you want on your lot based on the setbacks, the zoning, and the area site coverage, okay? Now, if this was a bigger project, there's this thing called the FAR. We'll not talk about that. But, so once that is established, I get a building permit. So first, development permit, DP, building permit, BP, okay? Not Burger, I was gonna say Burger King. BP, building permit, is now when you have chosen your builder and you submit it, you've showed them that you have course of construction insurance. There's insurance during this build. For me, it costs $9,000 just for insurance. So if anything happens, you're covered. And then warranty if you want warranty, okay? You submit all that to the city, and then you get your building Permit. Now, building permit is faster in my city than a development permit. Development permit takes longer. Okay, so once you've gotten the drawings, the lot grading plan, all that stuff, you submit to the city, you got the permit, boom. Maybe if I back up, if there is an old house, you need to disconnect the water, gas, and electricity, like the meters, okay? You call the city, get them to take out the meters, disconnect them, and then demo. Do not start demoing without doing these. And you also need a demo permit. So there's 3 permits. You need a demolition permit. You can't just take a backhoe and start, going to town. You just can't really do that. So you need permission, you need a demolition permit, but before that, you need to disconnect, okay, water, gas. So after that, maybe, let me go back. Sometimes there's what's called an asbestos test report you need to do. It's very specific to certain states. Anyways, it's just to remove certain cancer-causing materials in the old house before you can tear it down. It costs a lot of money. I had to do that. So anyways, after getting the permits, now you start to build, okay? So you excavate, right? The dirt, backfill, you set up the forms, the concrete forms, and you pour the concrete, it hardens. Obviously you do your weeping tiles and everything, but I'm not here to get too technical. Essentially, at that stage, you're around 10% done. Next is the lockup stage. Lockup means the framing is done and your doors and windows are in. It's called lockup because you can lock up the building. At this stage, you're already around 25 to 29% done. Next are your MEPs, mechanical engineering, plumbing. So as you can see, the electrical is all run, right? Now we still have to do the HVACs. So that's gonna be next. So that, at that stage, you're almost there. You're almost there. Now, the percentages of what I'm saying, 20%, 30%, this is actually very important because this is when your bank or your lender or your hard money lender, whoever is giving you the money for the construction, they wanna know what stage you're in before they give you a draw, okay? So what are draws? These are construction draws. So when you finish a milestone, you could call or email or text your bank saying, hey, I'm ready to call in a draw. And from that draw, that's what you pay your trades, your subcontractors, your general contractors, okay? So if you finish the foundation, that is about 150K worth. You could call in a draw if there's no holdbacks. Now, sometimes there are holdbacks that you need to, that the bank wants, so you need to hit certain thresholds of work to be able to call in a draw. Now, there's a couple tips and tricks to this. If you're really good friend, or like if you're connected with your GC or your trades, they will front load the work, and then from that, you call in your bank, and then they give you the draw because it's finished at a certain stage. Now, sometimes they want to see an invoice from that. Well, then that means you gotta pay them first before you could get a draw. Super annoying sometimes, okay? So that's why it's important to make sure you are you're asking the right questions and you're negotiating properly with your bank or your hard money lender or whoever you are working with. So with that being said, why are we doing this? What is the whole point of doing this? Now, when you develop, you see a lot of profit because you're doing the hard work of taking an old house, tearing it down, building something brand new that people love. So you get rewarded from that. Now, there's a lot of delays that happen. There's a lot of issues sometimes. Theft, random stuff happens all the time. And so you get compensated for all that headache. So ever since I started developing, I never want to buy existing multifamily anymore, but there's still, if there's a good deal for a good piece of asset, why not? But developing is definitely a skill you want to learn so they could see 6 to 7 figure profits or equity. Because again, the equity that you just created, you can take it out at the final stage of the term loan so that you could pay you and your investor back. So you are zero, you got zero in the deal and you still own the asset. So you pulled out the money, now you could do another project. Now, let's talk about money. How much money do you need to get into this game? Now, I got in with zero, okay? How was I able to get in with zero? Because I learned the game, I had investors, they wanted to work with me, they trusted me, and it worked out. Now, if you have money, you don't need an investor, that's great. Normally, you can get 80 to 90% loan to cost on the deal, okay? So let's say the land is 500,000, half a mil. Your build cost is 1.5, so that's 2 mil. So your total cost is $2 million. You need 10 to 20% of that in cash. So that's $200,000 to $400,000. Now, sounds like a lot because it is. And so you might want to partner up with someone. You guys can go 50-50 on it. Now, how do you make sure that you're actually going to make money, profits from doing this? You don't want to just guess. So quick napkin math for you guys is you look at what's selling on the market right now on Zillow for a brand new fourplex in your area. Let's say you're in Houston. Look at the square footage, 1,500 square feet. Does it have garage, whatever? If it's selling for 2 mil, let's say, your land purchase entry should be 20 to 25% of that. That's it. That's all you gotta know. So that's 400,000 to 500,000 for the land. Now, if you're able to pick up a piece of land for 15% or 10%, I mean, that's kind of impossible, but that means you're getting a really, really, really good deal. And usually it's off market, or if it was listed on market, it's gone within seconds. So just keep that in mind. That's some free, free game. And yeah, so now when you purchase the land, okay, you can roll it into the cost of the construction at the same time. So again, all you need to show is that 10 to 20% equity to your banker or your hard money lender. Obviously, you will need to use that money. So you'll need to close on the land with that money and front. So maybe you're asking, where am I going to spend this 400,000? So on average, you'll spend 50% of it, half of it, on closing the land, and then the rest of it to get to a certain stage in the construction. Now, every lender's different. Some of them will give you 100% financing on the land, and then they want you to get to lock-up stage with your money. So 400,000 will get you up to here, and then they'll fund you throughout, okay? And then once everything's done, now it's worth 2.5, let's say, you refinance, you take out at the permanent loan with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, 75% loan to value. Again, that's how you pull out all your capital. If you do the math, 75% of 2.5 is, I don't know, I'm not that good at math, so, but that's how that works. So hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully this made sense. If it did, hit the like, comment, and maybe you want a panorama view. And you got make sure, guys, get a porta potty for your team. You don't want them pooping and peeing everywhere. That's important. Also, garbage. Make sure your site is clean. Check out how clean my site is. That is beautiful. I've walked through other sites where there's garbage everywhere. Lumber everywhere. It's not good. Not good. So it's clean. It's very good. And so that's it. So guys, hope you liked it. I'll see you guys maybe I'll show you guys the other projects too.